Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another upcoming project video. If you are familiar with the Fantastic Four, you know that this is, bear with me here, I've always had trouble pronouncing this character's name, Annihilus. Anyway, if you're familiar with them, you know who he is. But take a good look because this is the last time you will see this model as Annihilus. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I am a Carnage fan, and you also know that I am currently working on accumulating the largest Carnage collection in the world, in the US. I don't know. I put up a challenge several times in the past year or so, but didn't receive a response. So as far as I know, it is the largest ever until I hear otherwise. Anyway, this will soon be a Carnage model once I'm done with it. And I realize that I am starting a little late on this. Normally what I like to do when I receive a model is do an overview of the shipping, packing, and talk a little bit about the seller and talk a little bit about the model itself. So I'm coming in on the middle of this. So let me backtrack a little bit. I received this a few days ago from a seller in southern Georgia. And I did just throw out the box because hold on, you know what? I'm getting too far ahead. Let me do a 360 view and then I'll come back and talk more about it. All right, that's a good spot to stop. So I threw out the box just yesterday, and after throwing it out, I realized that I hadn't made a video. So I don't have the box, but the seller packed it very well, folks. This is a pretty good size model. I just measured it, and up to the top of his head was, hold on, I forgot already. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. And I wanted you to see this for yourself. To the top of his head from the bottom of the base is about 19.5 inches. And this is something I like to do for my own reasons. And for anybody else who's interested in it, from the bottom of, hold on, let me get it right. From his feet to the top of his head is roughly 13 inches. So the character is about 13 inches tall. And with the wings, let me see, from the bottom of the base to the top of, I'm trying not to show you too much of my kitchen area here because yes, I am in my kitchen again. Okay. Yep, I'm back in here. So from the bottom of the base to the top of the wing is about 28 inches with the wing vertical. And let me see, from side to side, it is about 14, let me see, nope. I'm going to say roughly 16 inches wide. All right, that's it for the measurements. And, oops, there goes my yardstick. Let me see, what else? Okay, yes, seller. I bought this on eBay. If you're interested in the seller and you want to get one of these, let me know and I'll provide that information for you. The seller packed the hell out of this model. It was so much bubble wrap, and that is part of the reason I had to get rid of the box. It was just sitting here in my living room because I don't have room in my garage for it. I don't have room in either one of my 2 rooms that I use for all of my stuff. So I had to get rid of it, get it out the house. But he did an excellent job packing this model. One thing did get broken, and that was one of the wings. He attached the wings. As a matter of fact, folks, he had assembled this model, and from my understanding with communicating with him, he had this model already printed. So I did not have to wait for him to print it. So instead of waiting to get it printed, which would have taken longer, and I did want to get this right away. You know how we are. We just want things right now. So I did that, and it was already partially assembled, I believe. And I believe he had already primed it. And so it's no big deal. But he did ship it assembled with the wings attached, and one wing was broken when it got here. But again, no big deal because that's part of the reason I do this stuff, so I can teach myself how to repair models and statues. So that's fine for me. Let me see. So, okay, yeah, let's take an up close look at it before I continue talking. And I still haven't figured out what this is for right here. Oh, let's talk about the parts that came with it. I can't tell you the parts when it's unassembled because, like I said, everything was pretty much put together. But the parts I received were this Fantastic Four symbol, and I believe it goes right there. And of course, I won't be using that. It came with this right here, and I don't know where this goes, so I think I'm going to just put it here, and that will be a part of the symbiote, of course. And let me see. So that's all I can tell you about parts, folks. If you want to know the parts, you probably have to go online and look it up. Okay, let's spin it around. Oh, and it just occurred to me. It did come with, I think, 3 insects, which I won't be using. If you need insects for anything, folks, hit me up. Hold on, let me go get those and show you what I'm talking about. Stop. I'll be right back. All right, folks, here are the insects. And you know what? I just realized that I am filming this vertical. It's pretty much become habit because most of my figures are vertical. They're not horizontal. So, okay, I'll have to live with it. I'm not going to start over with this recording. So here are the insects. And I think this big one is roughly 5 inches long. And as you can see, the other 2 are smaller. So like I was saying, if you need an insect for anything, please contact me, leave a comment, let me know. We can work something out. I can give it to you, sell it to you, or maybe trade it for something. I have a lot of excess parts just laying around. I don't need them. I'm not going to use them. Maybe even that 4, if I can't figure out a use for it. I might be able to use that though. So anyway, those are the parts that I am aware of, folks. And let me see what I have done with this so far. Hold on, before I talk about that, let's talk about the wings. The wings, like I said, one broke off during shipping, and I broke the other one off because my plan was to insert rods, and I did this already yesterday. I inserted a metal rod, maybe 2 inches long, into the end of the wing, and it's going to go into the body and help to support the wing. Also, I put a piece of, I think, 16 gauge wire. It ran from here. Man, I need a pointer. Okay. The finger will have to do. The 16 gauge wire ran from here up to the bend, and then maybe an inch up here. And that's just to support this in case it does break in the future. It'll hold it together. Now also inside of this part, there is some epoxy clay. I filled up this part is hollow. I filled it up with epoxy clay, and it is running up. It goes up to maybe here on the wing. And that's just to keep it together so it doesn't break right there again. That is a weak point in the wing. So I put the rod in and I drilled out the holes. Where it keyed in, I drilled out both holes, made them bigger to support the rod. And I had to reform the key part of the wings so that it's going to fit. And I have to work on this some more so it fits properly. That's part of the reason the other wing is not attached right now, because it just won't fit after I re-keyed it. I guess that's the right term. I don't know. Anyway, and as you know, Annihilus has the bracket or brace or whatever you call it, that big thing around his neck. Cut that off. Let me see, what else have I done? Oh, and as you can see, I did fill in, there were some parts of his costume, had some indentation lines around here. So I filled that in with epoxy. And I guess it would help if I told you what this is going to be, or which version of Carnage this is going to be. This is going to be the dark Carnage version, or probably an amalgamation of several Carnage versions. Let me see. Let's spin him around some more. Let me see. And I know the wire on the wing looks tacky, folks, but I wanted to show you this with at least one of the wings attached, and that's the only way I could get it to stay in place. Let you get a look at that. And there was a lot of detail in this, folks. I forget the maker of this STL. I want to say Wicked. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that, but it's a lot of detail, as you can see. Really amazing work here. I just hate that I'll have to destroy a lot of it. Now, let's talk about that. I will be trying to save as much as possible, especially on the boots in the lower leg and around the hand right here. Now, the version of Carnage I have in mind, Dark Carnage, he does have like some, I don't know what you call them, but he has some stuff here on the bottom part of the leg, also on the arm. So I will be able to keep some of this here and some of this, and it'll be true to the character. It won't be out of place. But a lot of this here has to go because this is armored and he doesn't have armor right here. So this will go. That's the reason for this epoxy clay. And let me see. I think he has kind of like a tunic type thing right here. So I can still keep this right here. As for the shoulder pads, the Dark Carnage does have different, how can I say it? He does have some type of shoulder plates, so I'll be able to keep those. I was going to cut them off, but that'll probably take away from too much of the model, so I'm going to keep them. And I think that is about it, folks. And back to the packaging. The box, it did the job it was supposed to do. It protected the model, but you know, you just can't beat these shipping companies. They're going to find a way to damage stuff. So it did what it was supposed to do for the most part. It protected what was inside. Let me see. What else before I go? Oh, one thing I wanted to hit on again was the reason that I'm in my kitchen again is because I just don't have room or space. I'm trying to get rid of some of my comics and some of my models and statues that I don't need and don't want. But I guess that goes back to the giveaway I was trying to do, which was not a success. But I guess it all ties together. It's a big vicious circle. I keep getting stuff. I can't get rid of the old stuff, and I don't have room in my working area to do filming and videos. So that brings me to my kitchen. But I'll keep trying, folks. And another thing, you're probably saying, hey, weren't you working on a different model the other week? Yes, I was, folks. I've been working on several different models simultaneously. I always have trouble saying that word. But I wanted to pre-assemble this because from past experience, when I get a model and I don't put it together right away, I tend to lose parts or break parts. So with this one, as with my last few, I pre-assemble them before I actually start getting down to working on that project. So I want to get all the parts attached and together so I won't lose them or break them. So I'm going to do that with this one, and then I'll set it aside and get back to work on my main project. And I think that's it, folks. Let me see. What else can I talk about? Okay, just remembered. Okay, what I'm going to do. As you know, the symbiote has these tendrils. Where's my finger? There it is. The symbiote has these tendrils that form into, well, they don't form into these things, but they form into these here. I know you've seen those before. So that's what these are going to be once this becomes a Carnage model. I will be making these as into the tendrils. Now, one thing, and this is fan art, folks. I can pretty much do what I want with it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all of this. I know normally the symbiote does not have these thorns on it, but that would just be too much work trying to cut them off. So this is just my version of it. All right. I'm going to leave these here, and this will be the tendrils. I think there's 3 or 4 of them on here. So that's the plan. I hope you come back to check out this cut take 2. I hope you come back to check out the progress on this project once I get started on it. And let me see. Okay, another thing, I keep forgetting stuff. You know what? No, I'm going to save that for when I get into the project. All right, folks, that's it. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video and thank you for supporting the channel. There is more to come. And let me try to get a decent thumbnail. This will look weird with just one wing in my thumbnail. So what I probably will do is just use a picture from eBay. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks again. Bye.